Hello everyone, welcome to the course Geotechnical Engineering 2. So in this module number 3 and lecture number 1, we will be discussing on the type of slopes as well as what is the purpose of slopes, and as a civil engineer or a geotechnical engineering, how do we consider the analysis of these slopes in construction. Okay, so myself SSS Nitish, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Vignans Institute of Information Technology, Dubada. So now let us look at the course outline of this particular unit. So coming to the course outline, we initially discuss the infinite as well as finite slopes along with their failures and the factor of safety. Okay, there is a terminology known as factor of safety. We will learn about these in the initial phase. And then for the stability of this particular slope, we will understand the different methods that are there, the different stability analysis methods that are there. So later we will understand the stability of these slopes in case of our practical examples, say dams and embankments. Okay, finally we will understand some other type of concept based on earth retaining structures. Okay, so this is the entire course outline for unit 3. Let us now look at the introduction to slopes. So what exactly do we mean by slope? So any horizontal surface, okay, for any horizontal surface or with respect to any horizontal surface, if there is any inclined surface, then it is known as a sloping surface. So if you look at this particular case here, there is an inclined line or ray to the horizontal ray. Okay, so that means this is one sloping surface. If you consider this as a homogeneous body, so this entire part is a wedge sort of form, and this is nothing but my sloping surface. So it is making an angle theta. So this angle, say it is represented beta here, it is given by the slope angle. Okay, and this inclined surface with a slope angle beta is nothing but my sloping surface. Okay, so how do we define this? So it can be stated that any exposed ground surface, that stands at an angle, whatever we are stating, that is the slope angle with respect to the horizontal, can be simply defined as a slope. Now, so where exactly do we go through this kind of slopes in civil engineering purpose? So the first case is when we construct any highway or any railways. Okay, if you look at this diagram, imagine I am constructing a railway track here. So obviously what is happening, it has to be constructed on some embankment sort of arrangement in particular instances. So this is one case. So the other one may be a embankment. Okay, so this is one embankment sort of thing along a particular lake. The other thing is that earthen dams. Okay, we may find these slopes in case of an earthen dam. So if you look at this particular diagram, this is one earthen dam. Okay, and this is one sloping surface. Okay, the other one is leaves or canals. Okay, if you look at this particular diagram, so any canal that is constructed has to be provided with some sloping surface. Okay, so in all these aspects, whatever we have seen till now, these will have slopes, and we need to make sure that this slope doesn't fail. Okay, we need to make sure that the slope doesn't fail. So as a civil engineer, we must be analyzing these slopes. So that is why we are understanding the stability of slopes here. Okay, so let us understand this more in detail now. So let us understand what are the different types of slopes initially. So we may classify this based on different types. So initially we may classify with respect to the method of construction. Okay, what do we mean by method of construction? So based on the method of construction means either it can be naturally occurring. So say it is a natural slope, that means it is formed due to the geological features of the earth. Geological features of the earth, that means it is naturally occurring. Say our Himalayas or any other mountains that we know comes under this natural slopes. Okay, this is one natural slope. Now apart from that, we have the other type, that is the man-made or engineered slopes. That means these slopes are developed externally. These are not naturally occurring. That means these construction activities, involving any construction activities like say cutting or filling, so we will prepare a slope. So if you look at this particular diagram here, this is one engineered or man-made slope constructed so that the proper railway channel can pass through that line. Okay, now in general examples may be, as I've stated, embankments, earthen dams or river lakes. Okay, as well as some excavation trenches. Imagine, say, I have to construct a foundation for any small building also. So in such cases also, what we have to do, we need to excavate a trench. Okay, in some instances, as we have seen in soil exploration, the excavation of trench along that particular surface may be inclined. It is not exactly vertical, so it will be inclined. So that is what we need to understand here. Okay, now, so coming to the other classification with respect to extent. Okay, so this will be infinite slope. That means if the slope is having, if for say any particular surface or slope is having up to an infinite length, okay, it is having a constant slope up to an infinite length, then it can be termed as an infinite slope. Okay, so a long slope of a mountain surface, or any example of our Himalayas, if there is a long slope having a constant slope angle, so that can be termed as an infinite slope. So you may observe this as one example of our infinite slope. Coming to the other one, it is the finite slope. So that means these are up to limited heights. These are up to the limited heights and up to a short extent. Okay, if you look at the case here, these are generally man-made type. Okay, whatever man-made slopes we are preparing, these are generally finite slopes. Okay, if you look at this particular diagram, this is a small trench here. So in that particular trench, a small inclined surface is dug along this particular region. Okay, so this is a finite slope which is restricted up to a certain depth itself. So that is why it is a finite slope, and this is the infinite slope. So this is the other classification based on extent. Okay, let us look at the other one, that is the classification with respect to slope material. Okay, so in general we know that the soil may be either cohesionless or cohesive soil. So in the same way we may observe that it is either cohesionless slope, say it is example of sand. So these you may observe in the deserts. These are some slopes which is cohesionless. Similarly we have cohesive soil. Okay, cohesive slope, that is clay. So if you look at this particular diagram, this is a cohesive slope. Okay, the soil here is clay. So this is based on the classification of slope material. Clear? Now let us now understand why we need to analyze these slopes. What is the major purpose of analyzing these slopes? Okay, so if you look at here, in general, if for suppose if there is any slope, and if a slope has failed, either it may be a natural slope or a man-made slope, it is failing due to some external load, or say it is some human load or any other building load, or even say due to some earthquake load, the slope is failing now. Okay, you can imagine a landslide. So what will happen in that case? Obviously there will be much death as well as destruction that is taking place. So as a civil engineer, what we need to do, we need to avoid such death and destruction at that particular locations, and we need to able to use those slopes and make sure that they are in a proper way and the death as well as destruction can be restrained. Okay, so that is the major purpose of our civil engineering. So this can be entitled in terms of our safety, in terms of our safety. So here it is stated that as the civil engineers are expected to check the safety of natural slope, okay, of excavation. Clear? So that is the purpose of civil engineer. So for this we need to carry out certain analysis. Okay, so that we are stating as stability of slope analysis. So what exactly we do in this analysis means, so in this analysis we determine and compare the shear stress. Okay, we determine and compare the shear stress developed along the potential rupture failure surface. Okay, that means imagine there is a sloping surface, we consider this with respect to the determination as well as comparing of the shear strength. Okay, because if you imagine this is a particular soil and on this there is this soil and this is sliding. Okay, this upper soil is sliding, that means it is failing, shear is happening. Okay, so as we have discussed for a two-dimensional body, it is happening in case of a slope now. So we need to determine and compare this shear strength value along this failure plane, wherever the failure plane is happening, where we need to understand and determine the shear strength with respect to the resisted shear strength. Clear? So that is what we do in this analysis. Okay, we will look at more in detail in the upcoming slides. So what we have to look into while analyzing, so we need to consider the geology. Okay, that means the soil type, what type of soil that is present, how much depth the soil is present, whether it is a homogeneous or non-homogeneous soil. All these aspects have to be considered. That means the topography will also be considered here. Apart from that, we need to consider the surface drainage. Okay, because the impact of pore water pressure is also something that has to be considered. Okay, so that means we need to consider the surface drainage and then the groundwater also. Okay, that means there will be seepage if there is any groundwater, and then we need to consider the shear strength of the soil. If we understand the type of soil there, we need to know the shear strength of the soil. So we need to know the geology, the surface drainage and groundwater, as well as the shear strength of the soil present to analyze the soil slope stability. Clear? So that is what we carry out in this slope stability analysis. Now, so as I've stated, we need to understand this in terms of safety. So here there is an entity which is used, that is the safety factor. Okay, for understanding this slope stability analysis, we will consider this entity, that is safety factor. So as I've said, a slope is stated to be stable if it meets a prescribed need for a fixed period of time with a suitable safety factor. Okay, that means if we consider the safety factor up to this particular limit, the soil will not fail. Okay, within this safety factor limits, it will not fail. That is what we need to consider. Now, so if you look at this particular diagram here, this picture has been taken from one example where a landslide has occurred in Brazil. So it is in Nova Friburgo. Okay, so this has occurred in January 13, 2011. Okay, so what happened is the land has slidden down and this has got affected. That means the slope has actually failed here, so it has slided along this particular region. So along this particular regions, it has occurred a slope failure. So as a civil engineer, what we need to do, if for suppose if there is any retaining structure constructed there, so that the slope failure might have been resisted and this surrounding localities which are present might not have been affected. That means here the destruction has taken place. Okay, so to resist such type of things, let us say here an sloping surface is constructed. Okay, this sloping surface is constructed with some retaining structure. So what is happening, because of this retaining structure, these localities that are present here are actually safe and sound. Okay, so even if there is any slope failure, it might be resisted. So as a civil engineering, we need to understand that and we need to make sure that this slope failures whatever are happening must be resisted, and we need to determine at what level the slope will fail. Clear? So that is what we need to understand. Coming to the other part, as I have stated that the stability analysis consists of the determination and comparison of the shear stresses developed, okay, along a potential failure. So let us now look at what do we mean by this potential failure surface. Okay, so if you look at this particular diagram here, so this particular orange color line is my slope surface. Let us say it is my slope surface. Okay, here you need to understand this terminology. Okay, so because of the self weight of the soil alone, after certain amount of time, let us say it is failing along this dotted line. It is failing along this dotted line. That means this soil that is present here is actually sliding like this. That means this is the failure line. Okay, so that means say after some amount of time, it is now somewhat in this manner. Okay, that means it has failed in this manner. Now, so as this is the failure or sliding mass, so that is why it is given the sliding mass. Okay, so as I have stated, the upper region of any slope is known as the crust of the slope. Okay, so this is one terminology that is need to be remembered. And at the bottom, this region is known as the toe of the slope. The toe of the slope. So here, as I have stated, it is failing along this particular plane. So it is known as the slip surface or failure surface. It is known as the slip surface or failure surface. So if you see here, in general, we consider that this critical failure path is generally circular in region. So if you consider this particular thing as one arc of a circle, okay, then obviously it will have some center somewhere. Okay, so if you consider this is an imaginary center, and this is known as the center of rotation. It is always denoted by O. Okay, and this angle that is making, okay, the sloping angle or the failure angle is given by theta, is given by theta. So this is the terminology what we need to understand. Now, so let us now look at the causes of this particular failure. This failure is happening. So what are the causes of this failure? So the first one is intensive rainfall. Okay, intensive rainfall may be one cause. The other cause is the water level change. That means the sudden drawdown. Okay, imagine there is some reservoir, and beside this there is a reservoir, there is a sloping surfaces. So what is happening at a certain period of time, the level of the water is very high, and within 10 or 20 days the water level has gone gradually down. So what happens to the surrounding soil present beside that? The saturated soil will now tend to become dry, and it may drag the soil along the sloping region. So that is one type of failure. Okay, we'll look at it more in detail. So as I've stated, the causes may be either intensive rainfall or the water level change or the sudden drawdown. Okay, and the other one is seepage water flow, if there is any seepage through this embankment. And then the other one is if there is any volcanic eruption that is present. Okay, and then the other one is the earthquake shaking. If there is any earthquake shaking, the sloping surface may slide down. And then the other one is any human activity may be another cause. That means any external load. For example, I am saying human load, but any external load. Okay, the last one is the erosion, and then finally it is construction activities at the toe of the slope. As we have seen, for a particular embankment there is a toe of the slope. So if there is any failure or if there is any construction activity taking place at that sloping surface, okay, bottom, that is the toe of the slope, then also we may observe some failure. So these are the list of some of the causes of failure. Okay, let us now try to understand these clauses now more in detail. Okay, let us now look at the first one. So the steepening of slope by erosion. Okay, so if you look at this particular diagram, imagine the topmost soil, this is a particular slope. Okay, let us say this is the original stable slope. This dotted line, whatever that is there, is the original slope. Okay, so due to the movement or simple erosion after a longer period of time, the slope has now changed to this manner. Okay, so then also there is a failure that is occurring. So this original slope is now changed to somewhat a steeper slope, that too by erosion. So this is one cause. Now the other one is scoring by rivers as well as streams. If you look at the other case, imagine this is a sloping surface along a particular river. So what is happening at this particular location? Let us say some amount of soil is getting deteriorated. Okay, that means a scoring effect is taking place. Then also what is happening? The slope failure is occurring because of this particular water that is present. Okay, since it will flow with a certain velocity. So that is another effect. So let us now look at the other one, that is the rainfall fills. Okay, imagine this is a sloping surface. Imagine this is a sloping surface and rainfall is happening. Okay, and there is some crack present to this particular soil. Okay, so what is happening? That crack is now filled with water, and at a particular region there will be seepage here, and obviously that means the soil along that particular plane will be weak. So what is happening? After some amount of time, this will try to slide down. That means a sloping failure is now occurring. So as I've stated, because of this rainfall, the water passing through this particular region is now acting as a seepage force along a particular weak region. Okay, and then the sliding will occur. Okay, and then there is a slope failure. Let us look at the other one, that is gravity and earthquake forces. That means only due to the self weight as well as some of the external vibrations. So what will happen? Obviously this will try to move and this will try to slide down. Okay, then also a sloping failure will occur. Let us look at some of the other examples here. A geological failure due to the soil stratification. Let us say there is a weak soil at this particular sloping region. Let us say this is only a sandy soil. So what will happen? After some amount of time, due to its self weight itself, it will try to break into different regions because the soil is stratified here. Let us say up to this level there is sand, and then up to this level there is some other clayey soil or different layers of soil. So what will happen? Because of presence of any weaker soil, it will try to move. Okay, so as I've stated, in this case a weaker soil is given here, so that is why the movement of the upper region is now taking place. Clear? Now coming to the other part, that is overloading at the crust of the slope. That means due to presence of any external load. So as I've stated, if there is an external load applied, so what is happening? The movement of this soil will take place. Okay, let us now look at the other one, excavation at the toe. So as I've stated, if there is an excavation, imagine this is a slope and at the bottom I am excavating. So I am excavating this region. So what is happening now? At this region the soil is actually not stable, it will try to slide down, then also a failure may occur. Apart from that, if I say there is a reservoir, okay, so as I have stated, initially the water level is in this manner. So because of this water seepage through this particular side of the slope, so let us say after some time this surrounding soil that is present here is actually getting saturated. So what will happen? Obviously, since it is getting saturated, that means whenever a soil is saturated, it will become weak. So obviously the failure may occur in this region. Okay. Now let us look at the other type, rapid drawdown. As I stated, imagine this is a reservoir and there is a sloped surface along this region. So initially at a particular time there is a water level up to this level. So because of this sudden drawdown, what is happening after some amount of time, okay, within a short period of time, this water level has now decreased to this lower water level. So because of this, there is some change in the water level regions in this particular soil, because this is completely water here, but here the water present in this particular region is nothing but pore water. So it cannot gradually reduce to this level. So that is why it is actually changing. So in that manner the soil present in that region may tend to slide down. Okay, so that is the sudden drawdown. Apart from that, we have the groundwater seepage. If there is any presence of groundwater, the groundwater seepage may also tend to cause some sort of slope failure. Okay, so these are some of the causes of failure what we have looked till now. So let us try to understand the different types of failure now. We have understood the causes of failure. We have understood initially what do we mean by slope. Okay, then we have understood what is the purpose of analysis here. Okay, that means the slope to be stable. Why do we need to understand the analysis? That we have understood, and then we have understood the different causes of failure. Okay, and now we will try to understand some of the different types of slope failure. Okay, how the failure may occur. The first one is the rotational failure. So what do we mean by rotational failure here? So in general, it occurs due to the rotation along a slippage surface by downward and upward movement of the soil mass. That means the soil may either move down or up. That means a rotational failure will occur. So this generally occurs in case of a homogeneous soil and it is considered as a circular. Okay, as we have seen in the previous diagram also, it is an arc of a circle. Okay, such type of failure occurs by rotation. Okay, so in case of non-homogeneous soil, we consider this as a non-circular failure. Okay, so let us now understand this failure more in detail. So these may be classified into three different types. Okay, the first one is the toe failure. We know what is a toe in case of a sloping surface, and the other one is a slope failure, and the other one is a base failure. Okay, so let us now understand this toe failure, base failure, as well as the slope failure in case of these rotational failures. That means whatever failure that is occurring by rotation, okay, may be classified into three categories. We will try to understand them now. Okay, so let us look at the first one, the toe failure. The failure surface passes through the toe of the slope. Okay, that means this toe failure, it passes through the toe of the slope. So if you look at this particular diagram here, the failure line that is there, this white color line, is actually passing through this toe of this sloping surface. Okay, so in general this happens only when this material that is there is homogeneous, and this occurs when relatively steep slope angles are present. Okay, apart from that, let us look at the slope failure. So this generally intersects the sloping surface. If this is a sloping surface, it intersects the sloping surface above the toe. So if you look at this particular diagram, this type of failure, the curved plane is generally intersecting at this sloping surface, okay, which is above this toe. So this occurs only when there is some existence of weaker plane above this toe. If I say there is some weaker plane along, this is the toe, above this whatever soil that is present, if there is a weaker plane in this region, we may observe this sort of failure. Okay, let us look at the other type, that is the base failure. Okay, so if you look at this particular diagram, imagine this is a homogeneous soil and there is a stiff soil present at the bottom. In such cases also, the failure arc may try to occur and intersect the stiff soil, but along with that, this part or this region may also tend to fail. Okay, that means it is touching the base. So such type of failure is known as a base failure. So the failure surface passing through the foundation. So as I have stated, it is a stiff soil which is giving the resistance to this particular soil mass. So the failure surface is passing through the foundation. So in general, foundation soil somehow is weaker than the slope material. So that means when this actually occurs means, if this foundation soil or the stiff soil that is present is actually weaker than this particular thing, so what will happen? There will be some instability and this soil may slide down. So such type of failure occurs in such cases. Okay, so this is relatively a gentle slope. Okay, this occurs in relatively gentle slopes. Clear? Let us now look at the other type of slope failure, that is the transitional failure. The other one is the transitional failure. So what do we mean by transitional failure? This transitional failures occurs in case of infinite slope. Till now, whatever rotational failure we have seen, that is a finite slope. So this infinite slope, for this infinite slope, a transitional failure may be occurred, okay, that is along a longer failure surface parallel to the slope. That means if there is any infinite slope and along that parallelly there is a other plane, so a larger failure may occur when it is in parallel case. So it is generally influenced by the presence of hard stratum at a shallow depth below the sloping surface. That means if you look at this particular diagram here, imagine this is the actual ground surface, this is the actual ground surface, and there is some hard stratum that is present. This is some hard stratum, okay, that is present. This is some hard stratum that is actually present. So this is present up to an infinite length, say. So in such cases, what will happen? This soil may actually try to slide down and a failure may occur in this manner. Okay, that means this region soil may actually try to fail. So this plane or line is known as the slip plane. Okay, so in such aspects we may observe this type of transitional failure. Okay, so as I have stated, the transitional failures occurs in infinite slope along a long failure surface parallel to this surface. Okay, so this also occurs along a slope of layered materials. Whenever there are any different layered materials, such type of failure may be observed. Okay, now let us look at the other type, that is the compound failure. Okay, so this means it is a combination of rotational as well as a translational failure. So in general, it is curved at two ends and plane at the middle. That means if you observe the curved failure plane, along the two ends it is curved, but at the center it is actually plane. So such type of failure is nothing but a compound failure. So this generally occurs when there is a hard stratum existing at a considerable depth below the toe. Okay, below the toe, if there is a hard stratum present, then also you may observe this sort of failure. So if you look at this particular diagram here, there is a curved failure up to certain region and there is a transitional failure at the center. So such type is nothing but my compound failure. So let us now look at the other type, that is the wedge failure. Okay, so this is nothing but a wedge sort of failure along an inclined plane. Okay, whenever you observe any inclined plane, a wedge sort of failure along the inclined plane is nothing but your wedge failure. So occurs when distinct wedges of the soil mass become separated. That means if there is a sloping surface, two distinct parts of that particular inclined surface will try to slide down in the form of a wedge. So if you look at this particular diagram here, this is a sloping surface and there is a wedge sort of failure which is exactly sliding down. Okay, such type of failure is known as a wedge failure. So here in general this may occur in case of a finite slope. This occurs in a finite slope when consisting of two different materials or in a homogeneous slope having cracks. Okay, that means if you say it is consisting of two different materials or preliminarily there is some crack in that format, then you may observe this wedge sort of failure. Apart from these two, what I have stated, in a homogeneous slope having cracks or any fissures, if there is any weak plane, okay, if there is any weak plane, let us say initially it is in this manner, okay, it is in this manner, the sloping surface it is in this manner, and so now there is a weak plane, this red color region is a weak plane. So what is happening in such case also, due to the self weight or the gravity load itself, it will try to slide down in this manner. Okay, so such case is nothing but my wedge failure. Coming to the last type, that is miscellaneous failure. So apart from whatever four different types of failures we have seen, there may be some other different types of failures. That means a combination of these failures may occur or something other than these may occur. Okay, so if you look at this particular diagram here, so in this particular region there is a sloping failure up to a certain depth, okay, or extent. So in this case there are different types of failure known as a block slide. Okay, that means as entire solid mass of block is sliding up to a certain region, but if you look at the bottom region here, there is some sudden and more intense failure here. Okay, if you look at this particular, this doesn't come under either your rotational or translational failure, a simple rock fall. Okay, so this is the other time where a debris or comparatively a weaker soil is now trying to fail and slide down. Okay, if you look at this particular region, it is a earthen flow where this is entirely very weak soil. Okay, so it is just flowing like a liquid. So such type is another type. So this is another type, creep failure. So these are some of the other type which is known as the miscellaneous failures which may be observed in case of any slope. Now let us understand the analysis. So as I have stated that in case of factor of safety, okay, we need to understand the sloping surface in terms of factor of safety. So for the analysis of these slopes, we consider this entity the factor of safety. So how do we define this factor of safety? Let us try to understand. So here the factor of safety is decided. Here the factor of safety of this particular slope, okay, whatever slope we are considering, it is defined as the ratio of average shear strength of a soil to the average shear stress developed along a potential failure plane. Okay, so let us say this is one sloping surface. Okay, for time being I am stating that this soil is sliding in this manner. Okay, this soil is sliding in this manner at A and B. Just for time being, this is in the form of a straight line. So I may say that let the shear force that is occurring here is tau. That means it is sliding, means obviously there will be some shear. So I am representing the shear force in this manner. So this is resisted by, say, some other force here, tau. Okay. So for our understanding, this is represented by tau f, and this I am represented by tau c. Okay. So as I've stated, the factor of safety means, that means it is sliding in this manner and this bottom soil is resisting in the opposite direction. Okay. So in our particular case, as it is stated that it is the ratio of average shear strength, okay, of the soil to the average shear stress tau d developed along the potential failure plane. Okay. So that means it is tau f here, and this will be tau d in this manner. Okay. So as I've stated, this factor of safety is now defined as the tau f by tau d. So coming to the shear strength, since tau is nothing but shear strength, so it can be defined as, so the shear strength of the soil, whatever that is there, it is defined as simply C plus sigma tan phi, where C is the mobilized cohesion and sigma is the normal stress along the potential failure and phi is the angle of internal resistance. So this is what we know. Okay. Apart from that, if you look at the mobilized shear strength, okay, so it is given by tau d is equals to CD plus sigma tan phi d. Okay. Here this term CD and phi d are nothing but cohesion as well as the internal friction that is developed along this failure plane. Whatever that is developed along the failure plane, it is given by CD and phi d. Okay. So simply factor of safety, by substituting, it can be represented by tau f by tau d, or simply C plus sigma tan phi by CD plus sigma tan phi d. Okay. So here, if we want to represent this in terms of cohesion alone, imagine this phi is actually 0 and this is 0. Okay. So I have to represent this only in terms of cohesion C. Then simply I can represent this as f of s is equals to C by CD. And if I have to represent only in terms of the other entity, okay, when C is 0 and C dash is 0, that means it is a cohesionless soil, then it will be tau f is equals to tan phi by tan phi d. Okay, factor of safety can be represented by tan phi by tan phi d. So that is how we can represent. So this factor of safety, okay, let us say this is Fs for our notation, and let us say this is Fc, and let us say this is F phi. Okay. So in general, Fs and F phi and Fc will be equal to 1. Okay. Just exact the failure, that means just at the failure, Fs and Fi and Fc will be equal to 1. That means whenever the factor of safety is equal to 1, that means it is just failing. Okay. So we need to make sure that it is more than some value 1. Okay. So in such manner we need to understand the factor of safety. So for our understanding, I have just given some assignment questions as usually. You just try to make a note of them, and then so in the upcoming lecture we will try to understand the stability of infinite slopes. Okay, how we consider the analysis for this infinite slopes, that we will try to understand based on a certain derivation. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much. I hope you have understood the lecture very well. Have a nice day.